Christmas greetings and happy Halloween. I'm your host, Dr. Wolfula, and when I'm not taking the candy from the trick-or-treaters who come to my home and also killing their parents, I'm here at Camp October RiffViewing movies. Well, Halloween has arrived, and with it the halfway point of the Camp October program, and that means...
What are you talking about, halfway point?
Oh, hey, Goulash, where you been this whole time?
I've been lost in the woods for 6 days. Thanks for sending help, by the way.
Hey, I called your name out like 5 times.
Yeah, real helpful. 6 of the campers I went on that hike with didn't come back.
What happened to them?
I don't know, something took them. There's something wrong with these woods. We gotta send the surviving campers back to their homes.
We can't do that. We're only halfway through Camp October.
What are you fucking talking about? It's Halloween. Doesn't that mean Camp October is over?
No, this is a multiple month commitment. I have so many more campfire tales I want to share.
Are you talking about your YouTube videos? You're gonna let more kids die just to make some more videos here that nobody's gonna watch anyway?
Listen, I don't need to hear this. You're ruining my Halloween special, Goulash. Since it's Halloween, why don't you go take the campers trick-or-treating?
Trick-or-treating? We're in the middle of nowhere.
What are you talking about? There's a neighborhood right over there.
I don't know, sir. That area doesn't look safe for trick-or-treating.
Do it.
Okay.
Sorry about that, folks. I've been meaning to get a new zombie servant. That one just isn't cutting it lately. Since it's Halloween, though, I gotta treat you folks to a terrifying tale by the campfire that's in the spirit of the holiday. A RiffView of Halloween Night, directed by Mark Atkins. No relation to Tom Atkins, unfortunately. Mark Atkins directed Sand Sharks, though, so he's got that going for him. Halloween Night is one of low-budget film studio the Asylum's mockbusters. What's a mockbuster? It's a ripoff of a movie or movie franchise that's usually released on video ahead of the movie it's ripping off to try to confuse people with a film sold with a similar title or cover. The Asylum made a name for themselves with mockbusters, of course. When Peter Jackson's King Kong came out, for instance, the Asylum came out with King of the Lost World the same week, which was a slapdash, loose adaptation of Arthur Conan Doyle's The Lost World, but with a giant ape shoehorned in.
Holy shit!
And you might say that King Kong itself is a loose adaptation of The Lost World with a giant ape shoehorned in, but you know what? Fuck you! Halloween Night itself is obviously a mockbuster of the Halloween series, and it was released in October 2006, a year ahead of Rob Zombie's Halloween remake.
Michael!
How does Halloween Night compare to the beloved franchise it attempted to pass itself off as being part of? I think you can probably guess. Here's my RiffView of Halloween Night. But first I have a message from my sponsor, me. Pledge to my Patreon today to support the channel, help it continue to grow, and you'll also get access to weekly movie nights every Sunday and archive commentaries if you miss the movie nights live. Just $5 a month to get a movie night every week. Here are the movies I'll be streaming next Sunday. Pledge to patreon.com/Dr. Wolfula if you're interested in my bonus streams, and I thank you in advance. Halloween Night begins by stating that it's based on actual events, which the cover of the movie also claims, but I've found nothing to back up those claims. The movie's credits end with the typical disclaimer that it's fictitious, and what happens in the movie is way too fucking stupid to have actually happened. The real world is a stupid fucking place, but what happens in this movie is the kind of dumb shit that can only happen in an Asylum movie. Speaking of which, the opening scene of the movie is the villain's tragic origin story, which is basically the plot of Fargo, which incidentally was also based on a true story that was actually fake.
Oh, Daddy, come and watch this!
A father hires some masked goons to stage an attack on his wife for some reason, with the couple's son Christopher watching from his favorite place to hang out, beneath the credenza. The goons also end up sexually assaulting the mother, which is horrible. But on the slightly bright side, it only lasts for 10 seconds. It's the one situation where you're hoping it's short. Oh, what the fuck am I saying? The one pump chump ultimately pumps the wife full of lead, met with protest by the father as it wasn't part of the plan.
Professional Jerry said... Dad, I don't give a fuck what Jerry said.
What kind of plan is this? How does hiring 2 guys to rape his wife in front of his son benefit this guy in any way? It makes William H. Macy's plans seem mind-blowing in comparison. Speaking of which, the wife has her mind blown out, and the bullet hits the steam pipe every living room has, which results in the son Chris becoming disfigured by the heat, and thereafter Chris's father kills himself. Oh no, I didn't know he was depressed. 10 years later on Halloween, Christopher Vale has since been institutionalized, I guess for looking like a zombie animatronic you'd see at Spirit Halloween.
I love freaking this guy out.
Because Rob Zombie's writing is on par with an Asylum film, Halloween Night seems to have anticipated how Rob Zombie's version of Michael Myers would escape the institution in the unrated Halloween remake, just with the unnecessary rape scene in the wrong place.
Scare him. Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
One of the Institute's guards berates Chris while wearing one of Chris's masks, which causes Chris to snap and bitch slap the guard to death and pull the guy's neck stuff out. You know, that stuff inside your neck. Neck stuff. I'm a doctor, you know. Chris inconspicuously escapes the Institute by just leaving while dressed up for an Eyes Wide Shut party. Fortunately, Sacha Baron Cohen here was too distracted watching The Big Bang Theory to raise any alarms. Elsewhere, Chris's childhood home has since become occupied by a total douchebag.
Fucking gay-ass.
Who is approached by an entourage of women unlikely joined by a dude who can best be described as business casual Austin Powers.
You are?
I'm here to see you.
Oh, yeah? Oh.
And this goober wonders why he doesn't get any sugar from his homie.
How come I don't get that kind of reception?
But he ends up instantly losing the game of gay chicken. Dude, you were the one who asked his best friend to make out with him in the first place.
We just came
Okay, there's no way these women came with this guy around.
to see if you needed some help.
Oh. David here is preparing for a Halloween party tonight, and even at this early stage, it's clear that this is going to be the worst Halloween party ever. Even worse than Edgar Marsdale's Halloween party, and I think we all remember how lame that party was. No wonder his father abandoned him.
What are you doing later? Fucking these bitches.
Later, we meet David's other friend, Todd, who is literally just Shaggy from Scooby-Doo with a shaved beard, and this is not just this guy's Halloween costume. We see that later. This is actually just how this guy dresses.
We're just gonna have to wing it. You know your part.
Yeah, I'm fine. I got the easy one.
David and Todd are planning a big prank for the Halloween party, but who cares about that when the next scene is a lesbian makeout sesh with second base? Yeah!
I can't do this here. Why not? It's the perfect place. Unless you prefer to go in the closet.
Oh, I get it, because Kendall is still closeted. Now get back to making out. They don't get back to making out, though, as we move on to a scene where David meets another of his prank cohorts.
How you doing, nigga? All right.
Something tells me that David uses that word a lot.
Do you get it?
Yeah, I got the car and the uniforms.
David continues his preparations by meeting up with the man in black. No way, it's just some fellow douche named Daryl dressed up like the Terminator.
Yeah, you had a show and all that shit. Did it go good?
Dude, pack the fucking club up, dude.
And this scene tries its best to outdo Rob Zombie's dialogue by pretty much just being the words fucking shit over and over again.
Get the fuck out of here. You know how we do it, man.
Really? You fucking guys?
As long as you're still not fucking too famous.
I'm gonna need a linguist to decipher this dialogue.
Let's get the fuck. Whoa, shit.
David sneaks Daryl into the basement for the upcoming prank. It's gonna be so good!
I wish I had some fucking company, though.
Take this, it's female. It's my pinecone friend.
Daryl's definitely gonna fuck that pine cone. He didn't reject the offer of the pine cone. He's for sure gonna fuck it.
Don't get too busy down here.
Meanwhile, Not Shaggy is getting his medieval executioner costume ready, but it looks more like the Gimp from Pulp Fiction.
Oh, man, that fucker outdid himself.
And it comes complete with a real axe when this guy needs some Axe body spray.
This is ridiculous, Todd.
No, an executioner has to have his tools.
Todd and his Toddette happen upon a police checkpoint, and by police checkpoint, I mean a Mazda with a decal on it that says police with a red strobe light on the roof, which startles Todd on account of medieval axes being illegal in their state.
Put that in the bag. Come on. You know these weapons are illegal in this state.
Yeah, I know. You can't even get a permit for medieval axes in this state. It's fucking whack.
Hi, officer. How you doing?
Okay, there's no way this cop isn't just a male stripper messing with them.
Where you folks coming from?
Just from Russellville.
Oh, they're from Russellville. I hope they give old Charlie Bowles my regards.
Is there a problem?
The cop is looking for the escaped fugitive Christopher Vale and shows the couple a photo of Chris that can give people seizures.
Dial 911 if you see this man. He's extremely dangerous.
Todd stops for gas and heads into the bathroom to change out of his Shaggy outfit and into something a little gayer. Unbeknownst to Todd, though, the murderous Chris has been working at the glory hole all day and is ready to punch out.
It's the coolest makeup I've ever seen. Really looks like a real burn.
Dude, no it doesn't. Chris grabs Todd's knife and, okay, is the killer in this movie seriously wearing a polo shirt? Alright, whatever. Chris stabs Todd in the mouth, but this isn't the first thing Todd deep-throated today. Chris pulls a Halloween 5 switcheroo by wearing Todd's costume. And how is he gonna blow dudes with that thing on? It doesn't even have a mouth hole. Todd's girlfriend is none the wiser, though. Dating a burn victim is honestly an improvement.
I couldn't find anyone, so maybe it's our lucky day.
But she still expects a guy in a mask to drive them to the party. Now, this is a Halloween knockoff, but Chris isn't able to instantly figure out how to drive like Michael Myers seemingly could. Nobody gave him lessons. He does struggle driving, which is honestly kind of sad. I'm glad John Carpenter didn't do this. Despite being new to driving, this bitch doesn't know that and just keeps nagging Chris here.
You sure you can see okay? You idiot, you're gonna get us pulled over.
I'm surprised he didn't shut her the fuck up sooner. Great, now I'm dead. Super driving, Todd. In the evening, this hottie approaches a guy dressed up as a California raisin, I guess, who's the gatekeeper of the party, and he requests her to answer a riddle that just sounds like sexual harassment.
An object lies within a man's pants with a hole in its head and as stiff as a lance. If inserted correctly into the right hole, or what yonders, it shall be hold.
It's a key.
What kind of key has a hole in its head? He's talking about his dick, right? Am I crazy here?
You may pass.
Thank you.
This medieval-themed Halloween party begins, and I called it. This party fucking sucks.
We now officially begin the festivities.
But surprisingly, the guests don't all just turn around and go back home. I guess it says something about this town that they're willing to waste their Halloween on this dog shit.
Hey, Shannon, come on.
The douchey King David gifts his queen Shannon a necklace he found in his house.
Thank you, sweetie.
What significance does this necklace have? It's a surprise tool that will help her later. A guest shows up late and gets to choose which of the party's sex slaves to release from the pillories.
I choose to free her.
Come on, dude. Bros before hoes. One of the guests is already leaving this whack-ass party, making the wise decision of driving at night with a mask on, but luckily another mask-wearing dumbass swoops in to prevent this possibly fatal choice from being carried out.
Move your car, buddy.
By just straight up murdering this guy. Hey, at least he's dying here instead of out on the road. This dude isn't the only thing that's dead. The party's even deader. I feel like the guests are only still here out of some sense of pity. So Daryl emerges from the basement to liven this party up by sexually harassing a lesbian.
So back off.
Oh, come on.
But luckily for Kendall, her girlfriend Angela arrives to make her actually aroused.
Well, you get tired of the taste of tuna, you call me, all right?
Who could get tired of tasting tuna? Outside, Chris is about to make a big mistake by attending this party, but at least he puts this fucking loser out of his misery first. And Chris makes the guy do a little twirl, too. Aw, cute. Seeing men in masks further triggers Chris's inner Ronin. I didn't know they let him watch anime at the insane asylum. Chris ends up meeting Shannon, and it's revealed that she's wearing Chris's mother's necklace, and it's heavily implied that Chris was also horny for his own mother.
Christopher.
And hey, I can excuse murder, but I draw the line at incest.
You can excuse murder?
Go back trick-or-treating with the campers, jackass. David thinks Todd has finally arrived at the party, but it's actually Christopher Vale, who's none the wiser about David's prank, but David is none the wiser about all the fucking people Chris killed tonight.
You're about ready, man.
David stages an altercation with Daryl here, the douche who wears sunglasses at night.
Him. I invited everyone here except you. I don't know you.
And this is the first time something marginally entertaining has occurred at this party, with casual homophobia exchanged between the two men.
You getting this on tape, bro? You getting this fag tape?
When you know they really want to fuck each other.
Fucking cocksucker.
Things escalate quickly, and Chris is prepared to become an unlikely hero, but he's still afraid to die. Chris has a lot to live for. Killing people.
Drop the fucking axe!
Could you imagine a Michael Myers film where he becomes an unwitting hostage at gunpoint? Where he's actually afraid of getting shot?
Put a bullet in his fucking brain!
The cops show up and, okay, no, that's gotta totally be a male stripper somebody ordered for the party.
I think you better give me your gun, officer.
Well, I guess usually when a male stripper says they're packing heat, they're talking about their cock. So I guess he might be a real cop.
Anyone tries to follow me, he's dead. Fucking gets it. You got that, copper?
So, anyway, Daryl ends up kidnapping the movie's killer, and everyone is really sad about it because they think the killer's a guy they know. This is so fucking weird.
What about Todd?
Things get even more awkward, though, when an actual police officer arrives who looks slightly less like a male stripper, and David is forced to fess up and reveal that it was all just a prank, bro.
That's what the whole thing was, a joke.
You asshole!
The party is forced to end early, or David will face actual consequences, something a man of his standing in life is unaccustomed to.
All your friends leave or I arrest you in front of them.
Man, it's such a shame this great party has to end early. Sorry, David. Elsewhere, after his fake kidnapping by Daryl, Chris is forced to spend time alone with the most annoying man on the planet.
Acting weird, dude. What the hell is wrong with you, man? You could have blown the whole fucking plan, man.
Forcing Chris to do everything he can to shut this motherfucker up. Oh god, this is just like how David Carradine died, except he liked it. This is why you don't pretend to kidnap guys you think are your friend but are actually escaped murderers. I know this sounds like a very specific scenario, but trust me, it can happen to you. Shannon confronts David about his tasteless prank.
How do you think I felt watching that guy choke you?
Honestly, I think she'd be pretty stoked about her loser boyfriend dying.
It's like, why do you go on a roller coaster? You cry after the ride's over? No, you go on a ride in the first place because you want to get scared.
This analogy doesn't make sense because nobody goes on a roller coaster by surprise. I'm starting to think that maybe David might be a dumb person.
A fucking roller coaster, are you kidding me?
The fake cop arrives to pick up the totally real police car he borrowed from his brother. Totally real, not a Mazda.
I'm gonna return this thing tomorrow.
But he needs to be more worried about his cop costume. It's gonna be hard to return covered in so much of his own blood. Back at the house, the movie still needs a cast for the killer to wipe out, so all the characters with actual dialogue get to stay.
The thing is, you guys want to stay here tonight? You can.
It'll be just like a slumber party. Yay!
Maybe if you don't pull any more pranks.
Chris is not too far off and descends down in the basement to find a truly horrifying sight. Jake Busey fucking Carrot Top.
Coming to this party was a very good idea.
I agree.
They both must be really drunk, but thankfully Chris puts an end to this madness. Man, he died with his dick out. Just like David Carradine. Shannon happens upon Chris in the basement, and her necklace reminds him again of his dead mother. Okay, the incest is weird, but I get it. That woman was one fine piece of ass. Anyway, the smell of Chris's hand is enough to knock Shannon out, but who cares about this when what happens next is a lesbian sex scene? Now, this is YouTube, so I can't show lesbian sex to you, but man, it is the hottest thing I've ever witnessed. But I can't show it to you, I'm sorry, but man, it is so damn sexy. Meanwhile, Shannon awakens in a situation that shouldn't be too unfamiliar for the average white woman. Handcuffed down in a basement. Speaking of situations you'll find white women in, Tracy here is enjoying a bubble bath upstairs while eating an Uncrustable off a styrofoam plate with a plastic fork. This is one classy broad. Tracy's relaxation is disturbed, though, by the one thing more horrifying than the killer lurking in the house. This fucking dweeb Larry.
It's just that I found something on the internet you gotta check out.
Oh no, he's about to show her lemon party.
Can't wait till I'm done.
Really, though, Larry discovers that David's house is where Christopher Vale once lived.
We're in the same fucking house that Chris Vale lived in.
But if this information is in the news, why wouldn't the police be swarming David's house right now, since it's the most likely place for the escaped killer to be? They probably just sent another male stripper dressed as a cop.
Jesus Christ!
Vale ends up stabbing Larry in the head. The shot of the sword in his head is literally just a still image. Man, this is a really dark episode of Angry Video Game Nerd. You'll never be able to call a 35-year-old video game a shitload of fuck ever again. To lighten the mood, the movie cuts away to a shot of Tracy's nipple in the bathtub. Yay! Tracy, toweled up, searches for Larry, and this is like a scene out of a stepmother porno.
You're gonna jump out and scare me any second now, right?
She's gonna get stuck in a window, I bet. This scene is pointless, though. Back to the bathtub. Yeah! Speaking of scenes out of pornos, though, a guy in a gimp suit walks in on Tracy in the bathtub. Why wouldn't she lock the door? She's at a friend's house.
Larry, is that you?
Despite Vale being entirely mute, Tracy assumes he's Larry. Man, the fucking idiots in this house are making this too easy for the killer. She might as well just beg him to slit her throat.
There, you gonna kill me now?
Must be her monthlies. Vale tells her off, though.
Hey, this is Shannon. Give me the phone right now.
David tries to call his girlfriend Shannon, but she's a little tied up right now. I'm sorry, but she isn't able to reach you. So David walks in on Tracy, and it sounds like David wants to do a remake of Tub Girl.
I'm dead serious. I'm about to shit in this tub.
David tries to interrupt Kendall's and Angela's lesbianing, but they've grown weary of the David who cried murderer routine tonight.
Go away!
Stop fucking bumping donuts and get the fuck out of here!
Bumping donuts? What does he think lesbian sex is? Vale enters the room, hoping he can set up a threesome, but the only pussy that gets beaten up is him. Vale wasn't prepared to fight a pissed-off, naked lesbian today, but who really is? So Chris is forced to improvise and performs a very late abortion on Angela. You're not banning abortions, you're banning safe abortions. David, in a panic, grabs his heater and finds out from the very poorly masked-in webpage on Larry's laptop that Chris Vale used to live in David's house. The laptop has been open for hours. Shouldn't it be on its screensaver by now?
Shit, Chris Vale used to live in this house. That's just peachy.
David finds his girlfriend in the basement, and I'm betting he didn't know she was such a freak.
What are you doing?
Please don't get a kill me.
Speaking of freaks, Vale might strike out with the ladies, but he doesn't strike out with David.
No!
Vale puts a blindfold over Shannon's eyes, and okay, this is getting really kinky. This causes Chris to remember where his father hid his mother's corpse, and I really hope he doesn't fuck it. It's just not fresh anymore. Shannon wakes up and shoots Vale 2 times. She shot him in the head. He's not human. Oh, maybe he is human. The police show up just in time to bag up all the corpses, but when one of the body bags moves, Shannon shoots first and asks questions later, actually killing her boyfriend in the process. So she's single. Interesting.
Chris Vale is still on the loose.
Elsewhere, Chris Vale escapes again while wearing a crudely drawn, upside-down paper plate anime mask. The cops will never be able to find him. Despite not even hitchhiking, a shirtless redneck eagerly offers Chris a ride.
You need a ride, man?
But I think Vale's lack of lips are going to be a deal breaker. The movie is thankfully over, but the ineptitude continues in the credits, which get cut off halfway, only for the rest to suddenly pop up a minute in. Embarrassing, but I wouldn't want people to see my credit for this movie either.
Looks like you had one hell of a Halloween night.
Halloween Night is obviously a bad movie. It was made by the Asylum, and it makes Rob Zombie's Halloween the following year something I can appreciate a lot more. At least the remake wasn't whatever the hell this is. I give Halloween Night a Chris's Mom's Corpse out of Chris's Mom Alive.
He's got a gun!
Alright, before I go, let's check in on Goulash. Did you and the campers get a lot of candy trick-or-treating?
Well, Richie got a Snickers stuffed with a razor blade that cut his tongue off.
Oh.
Samantha got a caramel apple dipped in poison that dissolved her intestines. And Louis got an Almond Joy.
What was wrong with that?
Nothing, it just fucking sucks.
Eesh, well what did you get trick-or-treating, Goulash?
I got a rock.
No! Happy Halloween, everybody!
You fucking weirdos.
This video is made possible through the pledges of my Patreon supporters, and I'd like to give a very special thanks to the kind folks pledged to my shoutouts tier. All of the support on Patreon means a lot to me, and it helps my dark influence continue to grow. If you like this video, like it, and if you loved it, click the subscribe and bell buttons for more vids. Be sure to also keep in touch by following me on social media at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dr. Wolfula. While I still have your attention, consider pledging to my Patreon to support the channel and get bonus content like previews, VIP Discord server access, private movie night streams, and credits in videos. Consider pledging at patreon.com/Dr. Wolfula. Also, check out official Dr. Wolfula t-shirts and other merch on tpublic.com/user/Dr. Wolfula. Thanks for watching. See you all next time. Dr. Wolfula signing out.